All right, guys, let's go ahead and do a recap on indices. So I would say the narrative this week was really clear because of, let's go on ES because it's really clean. You know, we took out this low. I think NQ took it out. Yeah, NQ took it out and closed bullish, right? Which gives us that pretty space out SMT, to be honest. And that strength switch for the second stage SMT. So this is a clear universal model on the daily time frame. And that's when it's easy to trade, right? When you have a universal model on the daily time frame, it's super easy to trade. As you can see, after Wednesday's close, you should be one-sided bullish until we engage this high. And as you can see, Thursday did not get there, so Friday can get there, and it can maybe even potentially continue on to here, right? Because that's in pretty close proximity, I would say. You can see this little bullish move higher is a clear swing point, relevant high, I would say. Maybe not relevant, but it's definitely a high, right? As you can see, this is a fair swing this high, right? So that can be a definite draw. So you'd want to continue off the previous range, which we do. Mark out EQ. Whether you do like this or that, it doesn't matter. This is still a fine wick. At the time of the trade where this BS didn't happen, we were respecting it, okay? This is like, you're going to see this is all, I don't know what it was. I wasn't on the charts. I don't know if it was Trump, war related, whatever it is, it's not normal, okay? So you can kind of ignore this, all right? We're kind of talking about price coming into the 9:30 open. You can't control this. It doesn't matter if you're bullish or bearish, you're getting shit on, all right? Can't really do anything about that. But as you can see, the day is opening low first. So here's 1800 open. It's looking really good, to be honest with you. It's just literally textbook on how you want it to look, guys. Let's kind of bar replay until, yeah, this is actually good. Until here, before that happened at 10:30. But yeah, so about around here. So as you can see, the day is opening low first. There's no gap on this asset. I believe so. There, yeah, on ES there is. So coming today, this is like the easy refined key level for you to have. So you see a Kraken correlation, which we create here. And by the way, you are not likely to get an Asia expansion here necessarily because of what we did the previous day. So you see PM session pretty much expanded, or like New York in session in general. It's going to be hard for the next session to expand if the pre-session expanded, right? So as you can see, this session opens low first, right? Maybe you could look for a 2 a.m. low of day. That could be the case scenario for sure. I'm not gonna look too deep into it, but I know that for sure we have this closure here. I'm not gonna replay it, but this 2 a.m. candle on the 4 is bullish over here. It's bearish over here, and then YM's low of day is like, yeah, it's actually 2200. It looks like it's 2200. So you look at two-stage PSP technically there. I don't like the way YM looks right now here. This is not an expansion signature. Like, it looks pretty bad, right? When you compare this price action to something like this or this, right, it's a lot different for sure. So I'd probably still stick with this, even though, you know, this is like technically stronger. But I that's if you're looking for like a London expansion or something, or like, I don't know. Hold on, let's see the 1 a.m., 1 a.m., 1 a.m., 1 a.m. Yeah, it's just not even clean, right? Because this is the low of day over here. Yeah, I don't like this, honestly. Like this asset doesn't take this low. And there could be SMT maybe. There is definitely SMT. But it happened a long time ago. That's not really good SMT. See 1500 low? Dude, 1500 low over here is probably like, yeah, it's like right here. You know what I'm saying? And obviously this just kept breaking down. You know, it's just not SMT is holding. So that's not SMT that's high probable at all. It's actually like a consolidation signature typically, and that happens. So it's just something you pretty much ignore. But I would just look for a most recent Kraken correlation to form the low of day, pretty much. But we know that disclosure is a Kraken correlation right here. We'll actually bar replay it. We'll delete this. You know, this is a Kraken correlation itself. So the next candle could potentially be expansion, right? This could potentially be the low of day, as long as you have decent signatures in it. Let's look in it. So have a little gap here. Remember, the C2 candle that forms low of day is your true invalidation technically, right? But once we expand away from that swing formation, that should create new key levels for continuation, right? So for example, like this little gap right here, this should be used for continuation technically, right? And we wouldn't want to really enter. There's a couple reasons why you don't really want to enter at this candle, right? Because it's a future gap, right? But also it's just not the time of day that price is going to really expand away. Like 6 a.m., like it's going to wait for 9:30 typically, right? But anyways, we retrace after hitting like EQ, that's typically when we can start to see maybe a new phase of price or something, right? And then we get this right here. So this candle here is bearish at 8 a.m. This one's bullish, right? And this asset still has a draw liquidity. So this is a really good, in my opinion, driver pairing or like positional entry for the driver like scenario, right? Because you have a PSP in a key level. If we're going to continue from the low of day, guys, it's like we've already retraced. We've already retraced prior. We put in a reversal candle. So the next candle should expand, right? This should be the protected low essentially. So this is like good driver pairing scenario, to be honest. And I would pick personally NQ or ES. I'd actually pick ES because it's closest to this draw. YM already took out the high of day, or whatever this is, the previous high. It failed to manipulate it as well, right? When you look here, see how it engaged right here, engaged again, and we're just keep on sweeping, right? That's obviously not a reverse signature, guys. As you can see, I want price to reverse as soon as we create this SMT. This candle 3 should expand away if it's going to be a true reversal. But any move lower would be what? It'd be the move away from the draw liquidity and back towards the reversal low. So any move lower should be viewed as a retracement, right? So this open low is a retracement. That's also a bullish daily candles form. So everything is looking good, man. The low of the 6-hour candle is also formed from a swing point right now, from a key level, from a cracking correlation. So ES is looking good. As long as you put your stop loss around this area for the driver to expand, I would say it's pretty much good, to be honest. I don't know. I'm sure what that is. That's some pretty big displacement there. Let's see if there's any 15-minute gaps in here. One thing I don't like about this coming to driver is how deep, or just how this candle formed. It's kind of weird. Like this candle kind of formed weird. As you can see, it started off 8 o'clock right here. It expanded, and then we're just kind of like inside barring between it. So I don't really like how we form this. So we're kind of opening up C3 like really low in the range. It's kind of weird. But we ultimately just end up expanding away from it. Yeah, we just end up expanding away from it. So I wouldn't really trade NQ. It's like the weakest. I'd probably trade ES or something. So as you can see, you have the C3 here. You see the difference. This asset's obviously opening up 9 o'clock really high in its range, like up here. So there's like technically SMT here, right? There's technically SMT there. But yeah, like anything up here for positional entry could be potentially valid, honestly. We sweep out this low as well. Like when you start to trust like lower time frame, like kind of continuation, it's honestly nice to see this where we're like sweeping at a low and then having the CST here. But you can't take that because that's inside of the C2. You don't know if there's a cracking correlation yet. Because you don't have a cracking correlation in the gap, so you need a PSP. So you can only know it's a PSP on the closure of 9 a.m. So there's a couple things you can do. You can just mark XU at 9 a.m. Put your stop loss here, right? That's something you could do. Or you could wait for another CSD, which this is like, the way this forms is kind of mid, to be fair. Yeah, like it's this consolidation, so it's kind of hard to say or trust that, to be honest. Coming to 9:30, we kind of just open up like right here. So it's like we should expand, like we want it to expand, right? But it's a little hard to trust. Look at NQ real quick. Yeah, NQ starting to expand away. I would, if I was trading this, guys, I would probably wait for 9:30 to expand away. Like I would probably wait for 9:30 to do like this, right? CSD there, but you're gonna see that it just expands, so it's really hard to do that. but that's the ideal scenario, is you get like a CSD per stop loss here, and at least get 2R to this high. So like something like this, basically. Anything above that, whether that's a market executor or like a retest, because you need at least 2R to this high ideally, because it is a pretty relevant high. I think it's the daily high or something. Yeah, it is a very relevant high. So you absolutely need to get in 2R there, right? And it just doesn't give you that. So that's ideally what you want. It does not give you that entry at all. Unless you somehow like got in here, I don't know, and you like did that, which I don't even know if that would have hit, to be honest. Yeah, I would have came back for you. But yeah, like you want 2R to here ideally, bro. But it doesn't give you that. So like, I'm just showing you guys what a positional entry would look like. But it's kind of hard to get in because the signature is not the best of all time, right? This is not really great, I would say. And NQ is like the same thing, right? NQ also expands higher. You can't get a retest. You can't get 2R until anything really. Maybe you, okay, so maybe you take NQ like the weakest asset. Where's 930? Oh yeah, we need to talk about this decoupling. So this is like a couple scenarios like that you guys could have taken, but they're all in like anticipation. There's no confirmation. You're like anticipating this happen. So this decoupling anticipation is like in my course. It just doesn't work out the best here, but we know that's price engaged this high here, which should be the previous high. Yeah, it engaged with the previous high. These assets are not yet, right? They're not engaged with the previous high yet. So we know that these assets, the lagging assets, should catch up to the previous high because we're bullish for one on the daily time frame, but also this asset failed to manipulate this SMT. Okay, I'm hiccuping. With this SMT, right? It failed to manipulate it. So we know that these assets should catch up. So this decoupling is like could be in anticipation of the strength switch, right? This should be moving lower. These assets strength switch to go higher. Does that kind of make sense? So you longing really anything in here to get to these highs is valid technically. It's just lower. It's just like riskier. Like there's no confirmation to it. Like you're assuming that this asset here is gonna go down here, manipulate these lows to resync higher. That's what you're assuming, right? But there's a lot of things that have to go right for that to happen, right? So it's like it's really advanced. It's really risky. It's like, you know what I'm saying, really hard to do. But you would maybe, since you can't get in here, maybe you do. Maybe you do get in here, dude. I don't know. Maybe you do take this, which I would say is like maybe valid, right? Do you have 2R? Oh, yeah, I mean, that's not bad, man. That could be valid technically. But when you say decoupling, you know, at 930, that's what you're kind of assuming, you know, would happen. But it just doesn't happen, okay? Just doesn't happen. So you would get stopped out there. Doesn't matter where you put stop loss, dude. Like, doesn't matter if you enter this 3-minute gap. Like, whatever entry this is, like maybe you're anticipating that to happen, you would get shit on, right? Which I would say it's okay. It's like valid idea potentially, right? Just a less confirmation. So maybe you cover the whole gap. Maybe you're crazy. You want to cover this or whatever, dude. You're probably getting stopped out. I mean, you don't want too big of a stop loss. That's insane stop loss. So whatever, maybe you get in, EQ the gap. It doesn't matter, dude. You're probably getting stopped out. And yeah, this is just weird price action. So we come and engage with this low, which is not the relevant low. Ideally, it's this low, man. Ideally, it's that one, to be honest with you. But what you can anticipate to happen here probably is when this candle closes. So this candle closes bearish here. You can maybe anticipate this happen, right? A two-stage PSP technically, right? Well, these assets could continue potentially like look at NQ. It has a lot of draws available, so it could do something like this. Now, one thing that's sus is ES leading. That's like weird, dude. ES should not be the leading asset. It's just weird that happens. And typically, like markets are pretty crap when that happens, but we won't focus too much on that. But yeah, when you bar replay it, when this asset does take that low out, it creates these freaking eco lows here, man. Like, ew. It creates these eco lows, which is really not ideal, obviously. At this point, like, look at the profile over here. It's really bad, man. Really, really bad. So I don't think you should be entering. It's hard to say, man. Like, because that is a strength switch PSP, dude. Like it is, technically. It's bullish right here. These assets are bearish. Bearish. You probably anticipate maybe NQ coming to these highs, potentially, right? Now, are you within a swing point on the hourly or 30-minute? Because you have to be in a swing point. Not on the 30-minute. What about the hourly? I think you are. Technically, wait. Are you? Yeah, you are. Okay. You are within an hourly swing point, so you're good. Let's see if there is a trade. So 10:15. See if you get a CSD. No, you don't get a CSD. Okay, so if you got that CSD, that would have been valid, but yeah, I don't know what this is, by the way. I don't know what that is. But either way, if you got in, again, these are all like trades that like, I don't know, like people are different, you know? Some people just market execute. They'll just market execute right on C3 open. Like, I'm just giving you all the possible scenarios. Like, this is maybe not a lot. Maybe it's not for a lot of people to do, but maybe you want to require more confirmation because YM looks like shit. Right? I mean, that would make sense, right? But if you didn't, I mean, you're getting shit on. Like, there's no way around it, right? You would pretty much need this to happen for you to go break even, that CSD. Now, if this didn't happen here, you probably get that, to be honest. Maybe it hits TP, maybe. With this BS happening here, because it looks like it did go higher. If that didn't happen, probably does CST here. You probably go break even, but obviously it didn't happen. So you can't do anything about this. Like, I wouldn't, if you took this, dude, right here, don't even journal it, dude. Like, because this is not something you can control. I wouldn't even journal it. It's not even a part of data. I wouldn't say, because this is random. It's gonna cook you, like, either way. Whether you're any side of the market, right? So you can't control that. It's not a part of the system in any way. Even if it's hit TP, dude, not part of the system in any way. It's random, completely random. And you can see the market does its thing, where it does its news or whatever the hell, and then it goes higher, right? In its true intended direction, right? We already know that price should be bullish. This news was just took price lower, right? But then it just continues to where it was already going to go, and that was higher. It was pretty obvious that we are probably going to go higher, right? And it does hit this draw, but it's not something we could trade, by the way. I would not participate in this here. You don't have anything that you need. Nothing, we see with a low, but no SMT, no two-stage. I mean, we're literally creating equal lows again. Like, why am I just bullshitting like all day? Like, the way I trade, guys, like, I really want to see all assets in a way that makes sense for them all to expand, in like a really high probable way, right? When I look, even this right here, dude, like, yes, I teach you guys, like, you can trade away from failure swings when there is PSP, but that's typically like failure swing SMT. This is just straight up like failure swings. Like, I don't know. It's just like the profile is absolutely garbage. It's just bad, man. Like, it's pretty bad price action. Kind of hard to trade, but coming into the driver, guys, 930 is like the only possible trade, but that's for like advanced traders. That's for like if you like just to get on side, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's nothing is confirmed yet, Like, YM didn't reach anything, I don't think. Yeah, at the time it did not reach anything necessarily. Let's see if it did. Let's see what it did. Hold on. Yeah, it would be like right here technically. Like, did YM even reach anything? It reached this low here, okay, which is not a relevant low. As you can see, we're creating first swings all day, dude. So it's really hard to enter that, honestly. But that would be like maybe the only entry. Like, you're anticipating it for it to go there, while NQ is stronger and it's creating the feather swing SMT, right? So it's creating like lower or higher lows, right? That's what you'd be anticipating. You'd probably be anticipating it to create that higher low in this gap while the other assets manipulate, which would be YM. So that's like the only thing I see, bro. Other than that, it's like really trashy, kind of. But I think the bias, like, coming today, should be bullish. And I saw some people bearish. So this is kind of just a walkthrough why it would be long biased. It just was horrible price action. It was technically bullish, right? But not in anything we can really capitalize on, to be honest. Um, that's pretty much it for indices, guys. If you have any questions, let me know in the chats. I unfortunately thought I would have time to do a freaking recap or a stream, but I actually don't, unfortunately. But maybe Sunday because I'm taking my sister back. I'm taking my sister to the airport Sunday, really early, like really early. Like I'm talking about 5:30 a.m. So I'll have the rest of that day to do something maybe. But yeah, this is my industry recap. I just wanted to get that out because it's a really confusing day, but this is great. The bias is like really perfect. So, but yeah, I don't know what this was. Don't ask me. No idea what the hell that was. But yeah, there's some good lessons here, right? Why we're bullish, why we could look for a 930 potential entry, right? It's all up to you if you want to trust this price action. It's kind of mid, to be honest. I maybe put my stop loss a little bit lower, maybe. Let's see. Hold on. If you do something like this, 930, 930, it'll be hard, man. No, never mind. I don't know. I feel like 930 could wick you out and stuff. Like, I would not um, put my stop loss lower because this you don't get 2R to the high. So I was gonna see maybe, but yeah, the CSDs are kind of mid. So kind of hard to trust, bro. Kind of hard to trust from episode entry. But the everything else is really good, dude. Like that's what I want to show you guys. This is perfect, man. You know, like exactly like we teach, right? C2 performed low of day, opens low first, form our fine key level 4 hour. Look at this retracement signature after expansion. It's perfect, right? This is a reverse signature, right? C2 candle expanding away. By the way, my mouse is like glitching. It's like weird. I have to fix my other mouse. I don't know what the heck happened to it, but anyways, what was I gonna say? Yeah, C2 forms a low of day. If you want to check continuation, it's going to expand away within that information and create a key level. As you can see, oh my goodness, dude, my mouse is tripping. Candle 1, candle 2, candle 3, candle 4, you're not going to trade because there's a gap here. You get a new phase of price, which is exactly what happens. We retrace. We don't have an SMT fill, so what do you need? A PSP. You only need one stage Kraken correlation and continuation. And 8 a.m. forms a Kraken correlation, so 9 a.m. should expand. It's just that the lower time is not great. You know, that's up to you if you want to tear that. I probably wouldn't, man. I'm pretty picky, dude. I'm really picky, honestly. What do I take? It's just like there's no reason not to be when I trade 3 markets and yeah, like you get plenty of trades. Like you don't need 5 trades a day to make a ton of money. You guys will realize one day, but the sooner you realize it, the better, because you're gonna build those habits. But anyways, that's all I got for you today. Some good lessons, regardless. If you took a loss, like I said, anything around like 930, it's really advanced, right? But I would say it's valid. Like the idea makes sense, so you could take a trade on that. It's just in anticipation of it happening because you see it unfolding, right? You see the strength switch at 930, you know, so it's a valid thing to assume. It's just unfortunate that this asset here just makes a really deep retracement. Its fair swing is created very, very deep in the range, as you can see, which is going to take you out. You know, we don't want it to come this deep, by the way. Like, you don't want that to happen. So anyways, that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you still learned something.